5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition, liftoff.
All right, guys, we're going to do something we normally don't do. We're going to try and talk about all of the playoff predictions here coming up in the football playoffs here as we get going. The way we're going to break it up, that we plan on doing it here, is giving you 1 and 3 and then 2 and 4, and later we're going to give you 5 and 7 and 6 and 8. So let's get right to it, and quickly we're just going to call out our winners, and then a couple of these we're going to stop and kind of comment a little bit about.
They deserve some talking, and it might be a close game. Some games are 40-point games, so we're not going to talk about those.
Okay. Let's start right off the bat. Division 1. Okay, we've got 6 and 3 Granville, 6 and 3 Rockford. I'm taking Granville.
It's at Rockford. I'm going to go with Rockford. They won a big game against Hudsonville last week, and even though Granville beat East Kentwood last week, I think Rockford's on a roll.
East Kentwood 6 and 3 at Hudsonville 6 and 3. I'm taking East Kentwood.
I'm going with Hudsonville. I think East Kentwood is somewhat of a fraud. Don't take me the wrong way. I've seen them earlier in the season. I just don't think they played well down the stretch.
We'll see. 5 and 4 Howell at 9 and 0 Grand Ledge. I'm taking Grand Ledge.
I kind of like to go in with 5 and 4 teams because I think they deserve some recognition because they play tough schedules. But if you look at Grand Ledge this year, they just smoked people, and I can't pick against them.
6 and 3 Heartland at 8 and 1 Brighton. Brighton's been doing it all season long. I don't see why it should end here.
I got to go with Brighton, but their only loss this year was at Heartland, 14-7. But their quarterback got banged up in that game. I'm getting back to Brighton's bandwagon on this one.
All right, Region 2, 5 and 4 Davison at 9 and 0 Lapeer. This one's easy.
Yeah. They just smoked them.
Yeah.
So I got to go with Lapeer.
Clarkston at Romeo. This is what we feel is the best game in Division 1 for the playoffs. Clarkston 7 and 2 on the season. Romeo 8 and 1 this game at Romeo. But I'm going to take Clarkston, their ability for the big play that they can do, as well as the fact that Olin Erickson, their key running back, is healthy now. He ran for 3 touchdowns, 100 yards in their win against Oak Park. I just like Clarkston and their momentum. Not saying anything against Romeo because I think they're very good.
Yeah, Romeo lost that last week. I'm not sure that hurts or helps them. Sometimes it helps to have a loss. But getting back to Clarkston, they made a change at quarterback. Yes. There was an injury. But maybe more importantly, there's Erickson in the lineup, and there's a young offensive line that has grown and grown and grown. This Clarkston's team is much different than they were at the beginning of the season. I got Clarkston too.
Yeah, and I think we forget this team has won the last 2 state championships.
I think you can't overlook that.
Yeah, they haven't lost that yet. So 5 and 4 Novi at West Bloomfield, 9 and 0. I'm taking West Bloomfield, and you're taking?
I'm going to go with West Bloomfield, with a little asterisk next to it. That it's going to be really tough for them. Hopefully for Coach Ron Bellamy, they don't overlook Novi just because of a 5 and 4 record. But, I think they're a very talented team at West Bloomfield. They have a chance of going a long way.
6 and 3 Waterford Mott at Detroit Catholic Central. They finished with a 7 and 2 record. I've got CC.
I got CC too. Even though Mott's really played well, they've won like 4 in a row to get in the playoffs. And they have a passing attack that CC has not seen this year. I think it's real tough to bet against the Catholic League teams, especially early in the playoffs. Maybe later when they're playing teams that are more accustomed to playing competition that they're accustomed to playing. I got to go with CC.
6 and 3 Plymouth at 9 and 0 Northville. This one played at the middle school, and I'm not going to go against Northville. Plymouth has been really up and down. You kind of don't know what team's going to show up, but Northville, they've got, I think, everything going.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago they had Northville late in the game, and they lost it 23-20. And then maybe they just were deflated last week when they got smoked by Waterford Mott. Still got to go with Northville. I think they're very well coached. I think they got things going for them.
6 and 3 Livonia Stevenson at 7 and 2 Canton. Another team kind of hard to figure out, but I'm figuring them in the playoffs, at least in the first round.
Yeah, I like the way they've been playing the last few weeks, not mid-season. And I don't think Stevenson can stand for their physical play that Canton has.
All right, 5 and 4 Monroe at 8 and 0 Saline.
Yeah, they didn't have trouble with them earlier in the season. There's no reason to think they'd have trouble now, Saline.
6 and 3 Pioneer at 8 and 1 Belleville. I am going Pioneer.
Me too. I don't think I talked to Kroll, the coach at Belleville, even though they've had a great season.
And they have.
They really haven't played great competition, and he entrusted it to me. He says, Tom, we still aren't that good of a team. This was mid-season, and I don't know how you find out if you're good or not unless you play somebody good. Pioneers already played a tough schedule.
Yeah, they
so
really have.
They know what it means to play in a game.
And been
like
in a
this
lot
year.
of close games that they've lost. And Belleville, Jermaine Correll was an assistant with Cass Tech, so he's really building a great program there. It's a great school, rebuilt, do a lot of good things. I just don't think this year, but this was a huge step forward.
I think it's a break for Pioneer to get this over.
Yeah, 5-4 Utica Ford at 7-2 Macomb, Dakota.
Not
I'm all
even
DC,
close.
all Dakota, and Utica Ford really. Wild year. But Utica Eisenhower 6-3 at Chippewa Valley 7-2. You mentioned Ike did beat Romeo to end the regular season, but I am going Chip Valley at home.
The reason it's funny we're agreeing here. And the reason I agree with Chip, even though they lost to Ike during the season 17-3, I talked to some people that Patrick Brenningstool did not have a good game against Ike, and I think he's going to come back and have a good one.
It's 5-4 Dearborn Fordson at Sterling Heights. Stevenson finished the year 7-2. They're at home, definitely going Stevenson.
No brainer.
Mac Red. Warren Mott 6-3 at Detroit Cass Tech 7-2. This is an interesting game, but I think when it all shakes out, Cass Tech is just going to make more big plays and win this.
At least a couple touchdowns.
All right, so that's Division I. Now let's talk about Division III. And this one, of course, is, when you start getting to some of these teams that we don't see a lot, it makes it very interesting. And a lot of the records are sometimes deceiving just because they play a much tougher schedule than one or the other. But let's go through it.
What he's saying is a lot of the D3 ones,
don't know what I'm saying.
They play the D1s and D2s throughout the season. So they get into the playoffs.
At 6-3.
Yeah, they already battle tested. And take St. Mary's, for example.
Yeah.
I mean, they're playing CC, they're playing Brother Rice, they're playing De La Salle, they're playing all these really good teams. They don't play those teams in the Division III.
Only played 8 games, didn't even get 9 in. So let's talk about Gaylord at Mount Pleasant. Gaylord 6-3, Mount Pleasant 7-2. I'm going Mount Pleasant at home.
They play a tougher schedule.
Absolutely. Sault Ste. Marie 6-3 at Petoskey 7-2. I've got Petoskey again at home. Grand Rapids Christian 5-4 at East Grand Rapids 6-3. I'm taking Grand Rapids Christian. I think that they've had a tough schedule. I really looked at the last game. You like that too?
No, I think that's a good pick. I'm taking East, though.
Okay.
But I know Christian, they play, these are white division teams out of the OK, so they're very familiar with one another. This will be a close game. This will be one of the top games, really, in Division III anywhere.
I agree. Cedar Springs 6-3 at Zeeland East 6-3. I'm going to go with Zeeland East, and again, partly is based on tougher schedule.
Me too.
Hazlitt 6-3 at DeWitt 8-1. I really like DeWitt.
DeWitt actually won by like 20 points when they played early in the season, but we actually covered that game, and there was a 2-score game, and Hazlitt had the ball in their territory. DeWitt got a big interception to make it a 20-point game. This will be a closer game than you think. These are huge rivals. DeWitt by a touchdown.
This one was a real toss-up. Mason 7-2 at St. John's 6-3. I'm going with St. John's, but I really think that either team can win that game.
I'm going with Mason.
Okay.
Yeah. All 4 of those teams we just mentioned.
That's a really good
They're the top 4 teams in the CAC Red, and it's just unfair. Here they got stuck in their same district.
It's like a MAC Red situation. Region 2, District 2, we've got 5-4 Bay City John Glenn at Orchard Lake St. Mary's.
Next.
Ortonville Brandon 6-3 at Linden 7-2. I'm going to take Linden. They lost to Fenton in overtime, which was a really good battle.
That was for first place.
Yep, and I like Ortonville Brandon. I like what they've brought to the table this season. I just think Linden is a better team right now.
I don't do this often to take an upset like this, but they played close game during the season. They're in the same Flint Metro. Maybe I'm influenced by what I saw. I covered Brandon last week. Hide the piggy, and they're going to hide the piggy this week. I'm going with Brandon and upset.
Okay, there you go. Sturgis 6-3 at St. Joseph, 8-1 St. Joseph.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be close.
Stevensville Lakeshore 6-3 at Edwardsburg, who's 9-0. I have not seen Edwardsburg. I looked at a lot of the box scores and the scores, and they can put up a lot of points.
Yeah,
they're strong.
They're kind of. We don't know that much about them on this side of the state.
No.
You know about St. Joseph sometimes, the Portage schools and stuff. But they're good, and I think Lakeshore is a little down this year. I think it might be a close game. I'm not sure. Maybe the Eddies will win big, but I like Edwardsburg.
Parma Western 6-3 at Coldwater, 9-0. I'm going to take Coldwater again for the undefeated team. Vicksburg 7-2 at Marshall, 7-2. I'm going to go with Marshall. They're at home. Beat Milan, beat Lumen Christi, battled Portland. It was a tough loss. I think that they are battle tested and ready for this one.
Portland at home. Marshall at home.
Marshall at home. Okay. New Boston Huron 5-4 at Trenton 8-1. I like the Downriver League this year, and I like the way Trenton's battled. I like the way that they got into the playoffs last year, and I like the way they played this year. I take Trenton.
Yeah, New Boston Huron was down. They had a better year last year. I'm going with Trenton.
Romulus 6-3 at Chelsea 8-1. And again, I didn't get a chance to see Chelsea that much this season, but an 8-1 record is impressive just because they usually end up playing some teams outside of just their division opponents in the SEC.
I like Chelsea.
Yeah. Where are we?
Riverview at Allen Park.
There you go. Riverview 6-3 at Allen Park 8-1. I like Allen Park again. Downriver teams. I think Allen Park is really good.
Yeah, I think that for the Huron League, you got to be like a Monroe Catholic or somebody like that to play down in the division. If you're playing Allen Park out of the Huron, that's not a good thing. Allen Park.
Warren Fitzgerald 6-3 at Redford Thurston 5-4. Definitely Fitzgerald for me. I think they have more.
That's funny. That's good.
Thurston
pick.
just got thumped in the last game.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Fitz. I think they've actually had a good season. I know they're playing on the road, but I'm still going with them.
In Division I, you have winning the title?
Oh, I got Saline.
I got Saline. No question about it. Division III, you got winning the title?
With St. Mary's.
St. Mary's. So it's pretty easy on this part. Next up, when we talk, if you join us, we're going to talk about Division II and Division IV. So check it out.